There's people going around wearing fake glasses if it's the best thing to have terrible vision. Most people don't think about this, but having eyesight as bad as mine with no ways to fix it is a disability because I certainly cannot function without these glasses. What's worse is when people take them off your face, holding them up. Dang, how do you see in these? You really are blind. Wait, how many fingers am I holding up? So apparently this test of fingers held up determines whether or not I'm faking my vision. I thought the fingers held up test was for people who were recently concussed. There's also no regard for how expensive glasses are. They can cost up to $1,000. $1,000 just to not see the person who takes them off my face to see how much I cannot see. Have some respect. People who wear glasses might not always be the smartest in the class. We can do everything that anyone else can do. I want you to know that I'm an athlete. I can run, throw, and catch just as well as someone who doesn't need glasses. So please, don't assume I'll get that A.
Amazing job, Emily. As someone who has a bad vision myself, that really spoke out to me. All right, judges. I see an 8.3, another 8.3, another 8.3, and an 8.6 from Mr. Jones. Give it up for Emily. All right. Next up, we have Danica Bhopal with her spoken word speaking up to racism. Give it up for Danica.
Why do people judge just because of a different race? Why do people hate just because of a different place? Born in this country, brought up around the corner, the difference between you and I is the color on our face. Never could I have questioned, is it me or is it them? When most of them can run, all I do is hide. The comments and the slurs, the hurtful words being said, they choose to stare, mock, and look away, like no longer human because of the race. You love the food, but stereotype the smell. The only thing you can digest is the chai samosa, butter chicken, and garlic naan. P.S. It's not naan bread and chai tea, like how it's not bread and tea. It's just naan and chai. You dance to our music. You mimic our accent. Remember, this is part of a culture. Have some shame. We have struggled. We are struggling. All this hatred you show, why can't you see? You are no better nor worse than me. Do not make my race a guessing game. I am who I am. Get your facts straight, or don't guess at all. And even though I respect you, all you show me is the brown in me. When will this stop? Why do you have to be such a hater? You may disregard me with your arrogant crowd to make yourself look better. Why are you all so proud? We are not the few anymore, nor will be forevermore. We've already raised the standards and will keep fighting for. So I suggest you learn to love my color and be all you can be, because all your judgment and bias can no longer bother me anymore. All right, judges, let's see those scores. I see a 9, an 8.6, an 8.1, and an 8.5. Get up for Danica. Next up, we have Simone Richard with Apple status.
By a show of hands, how many people here have an iPhone? Okay, and how many people have any other type of Apple product? Now, how many people here think they're an incredible inconvenience? You don't have to answer that because I'm about to do it for you, but the correct answer would be yes, because they so are. Let's face it, Apple products kind of suck. They're just really popular. If everyone today still uses a flip phone, then I'm sure we'd all be buying those. It's a popularity contest, but with electronics instead of the mean girls in those cliche 2000s rom-coms who are trying to win prom queen. Apple has pretty privilege, and I think it's something we're all trying to deny because we're in this deep and probably already have iPads, MacBooks, AirPods. Anyways, I don't need to go on and make you feel worse, you get the point. There's obviously a very extensive list of cons as to why Apple products are not the best on the market. And I'm going to be completely transparent about it because I'm not an influencer whose worst fear is losing their brand deal, and last time I checked, Steve Jobs isn't sitting in the audience. So here's everything I hate about Apple for your own listening entertainment. 2 words: updates and upgrades. For some reason, Apple decided that it's some kind of status symbol as to what kind of phone you have. I remember asking him one time at a playground why this kid was crying, and he said he was being bullied because he had an iPhone 6. Like, if you care that much, I think you're the problem, and Apple is seriously messing with your head. Once your phone gets too old, Apple's gonna stop updating it and worsen the quality. And by old, I mean like 3 years max. I mean, my phone was made in 2017, and oh my god, I should definitely go and spend $1,000 on a new phone, even though mine works perfectly fine. Like, no, I just spent that on a concert ticket. Plus, I wanna go to New York next year. And Apple releases a new model like every 2 months. It takes me longer than that to get a paycheck. The film industry is slow. I can't even keep up with the number of products they're making. And I'm also not gonna buy a new phone just because they decided to make a Pro and a Pro Max of the version I already have. You can't tell me there's a difference. Oh, what, the camera's slightly better? I really don't care. Same goes for updates. They're really stupid, and as if they really do anything, they make 5 different versions of the exact same one. Some of them are like a complicated math equation that I have no intention of solving, which is probably why I failed the first time round. Sorry, Mr. Chi. There's iOS 10.22, and then iOS 10.22347, and then the iOS 10.3 security scan. What are you scanning? My phone is shut off for 40 minutes, and the only thing it's doing is bug fixes, which who even knows what that means? I get a notification about a new update as often as the weather changes in Vancouver, which is often. But don't worry, if you have an issue with your device, which you will, you can call Apple support and they'd just be overjoyed to assist you. Oh yeah, they would, because they'd just be so happy to tell me that I need to give their company more money because I didn't buy AppleCare when I purchased my phone, and for the service that you're calling about, it's not free. No, seriously. I used to have this MacBook Pro that constantly broke down, and so I spent half of 2019 calling up Apple. I would wait hours, almost as long as waiting to set up an appointment with your counselors, just for them to let me know that they can't ask for help anymore because the model I had was too old. It's your product. You can't tell me that you're not going to help me because my computer wasn't made that year. Another time, because apparently I'm so good at these things, my mom had me fix her iCloud account. They brought like 3 people on the phone, and I eventually figured it out myself. And then she had the audacity to say that she was just about to tell me to do that. No, you weren't. Apparently, I'm more qualified than you. So watch out, because I'm coming for your job, and maybe you can pay me on time. On the topic of pay, did you know the first iPhone cost $600? Little fun fact for you. And now they're charging that much for headphones. Headphones! You know, the thing that you use only on airplanes to listen to music, or possibly on your 45-minute walk back from school every day? No, that's still just me. And I mean, that's nothing compared with prices today. The most expensive Apple product is like $5,000, and they're not even that good. Well, although there's lots more to be said about how much Apple needs to upgrade itself, I think I'm gonna stop while I'm ahead. And hopefully if I was able to convince maybe the 5 or 6 classes watching this to stop buying Apple products, we can spread the word and cancel Apple together. Shouldn't be that hard. We already did it to basically every TikToker who showed their face on the platform. And all for good reasons, may I add. Anyways, thanks for listening. I hope you can now agree with me that Apple sucks as much as it truly does. Oh, and cancel Apple 2023. Thank you.
Great job, Simone. Now, while we're waiting for the judges to score, a fun story. One time my phone broke while I was skiing, and it called 911 20 times. So, cancel Apple. Okay. Judges, what do we get? What do we got? We got 8, an 8.5, an 8.7, and an 8.3. Yeah! Thank you! That's more like it. They're changing. I see an 8.4 now. Oh, they're talking. What are they saying? I don't know. We're discussing still. I'm really curious what they're going to score them now. Oh, we're good? Okay, they didn't change the score, never mind. Sorry.
I'm sorry, I guess, you called mine out, I went up.
Okay.
Oh, okay, my mistake. What was it? 8.4. Thank you.
Okay, looks like next up we have Sarah Fong with her spoken word, Screenagers. Give it up for Sarah Fong.
How has technology changed society? How, you ask? Well, let me spill the beans, because this is something you've never seen. A previous teacher of mine, not at this school, was always ranting on and on about why children in our generation are spoiled. Back in my day, I played outside with dirty insects in the soil, in the scorching hot sun that performed sacred dancing rituals in my head, gave me a headache. Whereas now the only thing that gives me a headache is you lot. Every single day you hunch your shoulders and stare at that tiny computer scrolling for hours in a fully air-conditioned room. Of course, you would be able to guess her appearance, right? Tan skin, wrinkles covered her forehead like her personality within, and she always wore large earrings shaped like a violin. Well, I never really thought much about it, but now that my old clothes are tight, I guess she was right. Because now it's not teenagers anymore, it's screenagers. In fact, technology has a negative impact. Social media is supposed to connect us, but the pretentious name isolates us. Physical activity has been reduced as tennis courts are in disuse. Why play actual tennis when Wii Tennis at 6 exists within the comfort of my room? But please don't assume that this techno tune brings me gloom. As an introvert, I fully support this development. Mothers, too, are celebrating the magical, magnificent mastermind of YouTube's management for uploading a 10-hour, meaningful, meditative, musical of someone slowly hushing their baby to sleep. If you think about it, it's as simple as popping a pimple to use technology. You feel lonely? Within of a finger, you got yourself a date on Tinder. Want to learn a new language? With a bye-bye, you can adios your uneducated baggage, because Duolingo's got you covered. You want to procrastinate because waiting is not a waste? YouTube will push content directly to your face. Unfinished essay? Again? Don't worry, ChatGPT is here to save the day. But regardless, as convenient as technology is, what I'm afraid we'll have to admit is that technology does not have the riz that can kiss human evolution bliss. Thank you. All right, Jenny, let's see the scores. I see a 9, and a 9.8, an 8.5, and another 8.5. Give it up. Next up, we have Nola High with I'm Sure.
Dear older me, I don't know what's happening. I feel like an alien in my own body. When I was told about how our bodies change, I don't think this is what they meant. I can't stop thinking about how I'm feeling, something my friends can't relate to. I know they would say they understand, but how could they when I myself don't even know what it means? Obviously I know what it means, but why? I don't need another thing to think about. I'm not even sure it's real. It's just a feeling. I didn't think anybody knew at my age. I'm only in grade 3. Aren't I supposed to be dealing with other things?
I have so many questions. I wish I could talk to Mom. She would know what was happening, but no, I can't. I have to be sure. Or else, why would I say something? There would be no point. I will tell them when I'm sure. Dear future Noah, it happened again today. I don't understand. Everyone's allowed to be friends with other people, to hang out with people other than their one friend group. Why is it any different for me? I knew I shouldn't have spent all of those recesses with her, especially the lunch recess. They make such a big deal over that one. All I wanted was to spend time with someone who understands what it's like to be like me. Someone who doesn't just say that they know what it's like and then go on to talk about how that girl should announce that she's bi so loudly, that she wants attention. I wish I could tell them all. They can't say that. I won't hang out with them if they don't change. But we both know that won't happen. It always goes the same. Lying there for what feels like hours, going over everything that could be said, what should be said, about every rebuttal that could be used, the harsh words that cut deep, how to let it not affect me. But that morning comes. I realize I don't want to, that I can't. I'm in too deep. Why did she have to cry? Why did she have to make herself look like the victim? All I thought was how she doesn't deserve to have everyone swarm around her, to ask her what's wrong. So I walked right by, didn't say anything. Why should I be the one who's sorry? Even when the others tried to get me to talk to her, I didn't break this time. I can't believe I did it. God, I wish I could tell Mom. She would be so proud. That would mean telling her the other thing, though, and I'm not ready. Not yet. It's too early. I need to be sure. Dear myself, oh my God, I did it. I can't believe I did it. The words actually came out. They didn't get stuck in my throat, fighting to escape, only to be shut in again. I've tried all summer to say the 5 words that are so small they could fit in the palm of your hand. The whole flight, I went back and forth, constantly tapping my mom, only to manage the word hi. I doubt my mother believed she'd be told such news 30,000 feet in the air. Fitting that the whole flight I listened to a Girl in Red song about how pretty girls are. It feels as if I'm floating in the sky, light as a feather. How happy those words must be to finally be free, to talk to their friends. My mom keeps coming into my mind, her face full of shock and confusion. Who could blame her? Most people aren't told these things when they are in a metal bird that even through my 9 years of education, I still don't understand how it works. How my body slowly turned to be squished between the seats so I could tell my dad afterwards, for him to say, okay, as if it was normal. The pure ecstasy that rushed through my body, waving the white flag. I don't ever have to pretend to be something I'm not. Who knew that saying the words, I think I'm gay, would it feel like you had just been exonerated for a crime you didn't commit? I'm sure, I'm gay. There, I said it.
No hide with I'm sure, everybody. I'm sure that was an incredible spoken word. All right, judges, what are we thinking? We've got an 8.6, an 8.9, another 8.6, and an 8.3. Give it up for Noah High. Next up, we've got Angelia Angustura with Skin Bleach.
I've had to learn not only your English, but your French. Others learn your Spanish, your Italian, your Dutch. You've learned my nothing. Yet in 7th grade, you've made me feel out of touch. I felt stupid, oblivious, as I'm ridiculed for not knowing how to pronounce the word theater. See, your tone may articulate the English smoothly, syllables flowing like fountains effortlessly, as it was trained by the same language in your entirety, yet mine was around confused, tangled by 2 languages and 3 other dialects I have yet to grow accustomed to. See, coming from a beautiful country that you vandalized with your white supremacy, your commentary against my clarity of speech was of no help. It didn't help that when I was younger, what I would find in the beauty aisle was skin bleach. Bleach which buries the burns of some my ancestors endure from rice fields. You've imprisoned them for labor. From that moment, in 7th grade, I felt shame. Shame as my origin now judges you by your melanin, once evaluated by how much the sun enjoys dancing on your skin, how being darker is dirtier, how they extract you from your dialect because English is now the capacity of your intellect. Lessons that taught me at the tender age of 9, I am inferior as I am nothing of anything white. When did we decide who's wrong and who's right, that our lives will be standardized off the people who colonized, enslaved a whole race just for free enterprise, yet called immigrants lazy, saying that we're destructive of the economy, that we've ran away from the problems of our home country, even though those problems are the trees and the seeds that you planted into our lands. You've infected us like diseases, infested not just our bodies, but our minds and souls alike, claiming your ideas were superior, destructing peace and order. Leaders are now ever competing for power and insatiable appetite, leaving hunger leaving generations starved, not just of the edible kind, but of the fruitful culture our indigenous ancestors have sown. When I first came to Canada 4 years ago, I felt like a soldier, fighting my way through a foreign land. I had the resilience of a warrior, yet I concealed myself in camouflage. Camouflage, as my biggest concern, was for others to confirm. Camouflage didn't just help me blend in, but it told me to hide. But as of late, I've learned that camouflage is impossible, as my skin is not of green and sage, but of a tan shade amongst white. After years under the same sun and moonlight, I've come to a conclusion that color is nothing but an illusion. I've made my decision to stop feeding into delusion. I love myself. I love my skin, which carries the genes of the Philippines. I love my accent, the sound that echoes my descent, and the hardships I've underwent. I've made my decision to stop feeding into delusion that what I see in the mirror makes me inferior.
All right, judges, let's see those scores. I see a 9.6, a full 10, a 9.1, and a solid 9. Give it up. All right, next up we have Olivia Arbice with Monster Under the Bed.
Jurassicophobia, the fear of getting older, because there's nothing more childish than fear. Nor is it joy or curiosity, it's a looming dread that weighs on your shoulders, lurking like the dark in your room or the monster under your bed. My monster has 3 eyes, sharp teeth, and he tells me I'm running out of time. He followed me through my youth, dreading every second of elementary, then middle, then high school, and suddenly everything changed. Around me, that is. Small problems still feel like big problems. I cling and I cry and I wish to be rescued by someone bigger than me. I wish and I trust, like those days, having been dragged under my bed frame and torn apart by a beast I can't even begin to understand. At night I hear his breathing and I see the red glow of his eyes peering from just beneath me. He reminds me of what I used to have, what I used to be, and before I know it, 13 years have passed and I still hold my breath getting up in the middle of the night. He tells me it's time to grow up. I don't know when everyone else decided to grow up or why I got stuck with some furry, 10-foot-tall creature that keeps me awake. The only thing that changed is that big kids can't cry or wake their parents, but big kids don't always lose the monster under their bed or the childish fear. I look into the mirror and I see this 15-year-old girl I barely recognize. She's not wearing pigtails or cat ears anymore. She has bags under her eyes and wears nothing but black. But the longer I stare, the more I feel his presence. I know he'll reach out and grab me by my feet soon enough, and I'm scared of his claws. I never thought myself to be scared of much. I was scared of spiders, needles, and the fact I was slowly running out of time. I was scared of eating in front of people in my future, and I was running out of time. I'm scared of loneliness and failure and the monster under my bed that tells me I'm running out of time. So when I'm lying awake at night, staring at nothing, feeling the seconds tick away, I whisper, I beg for him to leave, to let me love what I have instead of mourn what I had. I can't help but look back at what I've lost instead of up, at the imagery projected onto my ceiling from the nightlight beside my bed. The nightlight that doesn't scare him, not like he scares me. Jurassicophobia is the name of the monster under my bed, because there's nothing more childish than fear.
Absolutely incredible, Olivia. Amazing. All right, judges, you better give something high. 9.2, 9, 9.4, and 8.4. Okay, all right, not bad. All right. Got it. All right, guys. The last one for this block. This is going to be a very special one. It's Elaine Jarbu. Her spoken word. Sorry, just 1 second. Nothing lasts forever. Elaine Jarbu.
I watch the sunset, but know it'll only fade away. I listen to the waves as they crash, wishing they would stay that way. Elevated with energy and elation, nothing lasts forever. I sit with you in my lap, only I cannot recognize your face. My mind scatters as your ashes dew to the shore. Looking for you is what I chase. Nothing lasts forever. My feelings of joyfulness will only die down, and my feelings of melancholy will only drown. Nothing lasts forever. Change is inevitable and time is fleeting. With change comes a mix of bliss and grief, though with that, my heart stays beating. Nothing lasts forever. I hear the clock on the wall tick, 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 wondering what will change next, for change happens in one moment, one phone call, one text. Buzz, 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 my phone goes off, but do I really want to face the reality of nothing lasts forever? The trees will eventually die because nothing stays until the end of time. Who would ever tell you that lie? Saying it out loud would be a crime. Maybe because we humans are in denial or are simply too proud to utter the words, nothing stays, out loud. We would like to think the things we love will last and the things we hate we will move past, but the reality of this life is that nothing will ever remain. Houses, cities, schools, and people will forever continue to leave and enter and persist and change. It's hard to explain. Everything is temporary. That's why we write obituaries. It's funny how the beginning of our life is clear, and at the end, it makes you want to shed a tear. However, how is it that we never know the middle? The middle of our lives is filled with change, loops, and twists, until we get to the end, where we realize it was all just a riddle. If you think about it, the middle of our lives are the most important. It is the only time we do not know the results of our actions. Even though we know that nothing will last, we still fill our lives with distractions. Deep down, we detest that feeling that we know that everything we have ever cared for will be gone. But don't you think this makes time have a value? Because without value, we would all just be a pawn in someone else's life, because we only get one on this earth, a never-ending cycle of birth after birth. So know your worth, because nothing lasts forever. That was the last poet for this block. All right, I see an 8.9, another 8.9, a 9.1, and a 9.4.
All right, you guys, so because we're done for this block, we're now going to put down the screen thing. And there's going to be a QR code so you guys can scan with your phones and choose the People's Choice Award. So if there's one spoken word that stood out to you and you really liked it, maybe it almost made you cry, you can vote for it. Yeah. It's a little awkward.
Stop making jokes. Stop getting.
No. See you yet?
This is the first time we've done this. Be patient with us.
Scan the QR code now.